Hi friends, welcome back to 5 Minute Modern, where in 5 minutes or less we learn about an important artist, artwork, or concept in the history of modern art. My name is Cindy, and today we're talking about a true trailblazer, the German artist Paula Modersohn-Becker. With her 1906 painting, Self-Portrait at 6th Wedding Anniversary, Modersohn-Becker became the first woman artist to paint a nude self-portrait, shattering taboos and establishing her place in art history. But actually, I think another of Modersohn-Becker's self-portraits stands as an even more important contribution to art history. To talk about why that is, let's take a look at her biography. Born Paula Becker in 1876 in Dresden, she pursued art lessons from the age of 16, studying in Bremen, Berlin, and ultimately joining the artists' colony in Worpswede. At Worpswede, she met the artist Otto Modersohn, whose landscape she admired. Following the death of Otto Modersohn's first wife, Helene, he and Paula Becker were married in 1901. Also at Worpswede, Modersohn-Becker developed a friendship with the great German poet Rainer Maria Rilke, best known for his Letters to a Young Poet. The two would remain close friends for the remainder of Modersohn-Becker's life, with Rilke often encouraging her and championing her work. However, Modersohn-Becker's husband Otto grew less supportive as their marriage began. Both Otto and Paula agreed at the time of their wedding that she should maintain her own studio separate from the household so that she should be able to continue her work independently of her commitments to her family. And while Otto did admire his wife's work and felt that she had real talent, as their marriage continued, it became clear that he expected her to be more attentive to her position as a wife, noting that she was too ultra-modern in her outlook and her desire for independence. Modersohn-Becker, meanwhile, felt disappointed with her marriage and the demands made on her time. Otto had a young daughter from his first marriage, and Modersohn-Becker was expected to take on the primary responsibility for raising the child. Alongside her unhappiness in her marriage, Modersohn-Becker also grew unhappy with Worpswede. Although it was an artist colony, it was also a very small town, and Modersohn-Becker was interested in expanding her artistic knowledge by visiting major urban cities like Paris, where modern art was thriving. After several visits to Paris, Modersohn-Becker decided to leave her husband for good and move there in 1906, with the support and encouragement of Rilke. In Paris, Modersohn-Becker embarked on the most productive and celebrated phase of her career. She took courses in anatomy and art history and became acquainted with other artists such as the sculptor Bernard Hoetger. Otto Modersohn wrote to her, urging her to return, but she replied that she had no desire to return to him, much less to bear his child. And yet, only a month or so after writing that, Modersohn-Becker painted Self-Portrait on 6th Wedding Anniversary. As I mentioned earlier, it was the first nude self-portrait by a female artist, but it's a very complex work beyond just its break with taboos. It's also very incongruous with what Modersohn-Becker's feelings about her marriage appeared to be. The colors are very bright, and the composition feels peaceful, offering no evidence of the discontent with married life, which she wrote about at length. Beyond that, although she portrays herself as pregnant, she actually was not pregnant at the time, having been separated from Otto for several months. Some art historians have interpreted her pregnancy in the painting as a sort of wish fulfillment. Although she had a stepdaughter, Modersohn-Becker had never been pregnant herself, and perhaps wished to be. Indeed, a few months after finishing the painting, Modersohn-Becker reconciled with Otto, and the couple returned to Worpswede in early 1907. Within the year, Modersohn-Becker was pregnant for the first time with her daughter Mathilde. Modersohn-Becker tragically died of an embolism just days after Mathilde's birth. In her final months, Modersohn-Becker painted what I find to be her masterpiece, Self-Portrait with 2 flowers in raised left hand. She painted this portrait while pregnant with Mathilde, and you can see her right hand resting at the top of her stomach. Meanwhile, in her left hand, she holds 2 flowers, symbolizing her 2 forms of creativity, as an artist and as a mother. It's this symbolism that makes the painting so poignant to me. Throughout her life, Modersohn-Becker struggled to balance the demands of her creative career and her family life. And I think that's a struggle that a lot of women can relate to even today. So many of us have to work at finding fulfillment in our careers while also holding open space for the joy of having a family, all the while doing our best to avoid being limited by sexist assumptions. Ultimately, Modersohn-Becker would hope that both these spheres of her life could bloom. And though she held both close, she would refuse to be solely defined by either. In a letter to Rilke, she wrote, "I'm not Modersohn, and I'm also no longer Paula Becker. I am who I am, and I hope to become even more so." Thanks so much for joining me on this one. I hope you learned something new. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.